Hey there guys, DMO73, just checking in with a little update before we get to the deck profile. I know some of you are expecting the top 4 footage for today. I'm actually heading out of town as I'm recording this, like and as you're watching this, we're probably like driving to a wedding on the east side of the state, so I wasn't able to put the work that I really wanted to into the top 4 footage for the commentary. So, that being said, I wanted to go ahead and at least give you the deck profile that Josh and I ran. The description is not going to be updated right now. That'll be updated later tomorrow, as well as the top 4 match with commentary tomorrow as well. Be sure to go check out Force and Will US. They're working on getting up all their coverage for Caturday right now. They will have the other half of top 4, some more top 8 footage, and they're gonna have top 2 from Caturday on their channel, so that's gonna be pretty cool. I definitely recommend you guys go checking that out. There's some really cool decks that got featured that weren't Oddgro Grimm that I really think you guys should go check out. It's definitely gonna be fun to watch. Before we finalize getting into the deck profile, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone from Gauntlet who let me get all this footage. Matt Cosmore, Chris Durand, and Kato, that whole crew. You guys are really awesome. I really appreciate you guys letting me come in and help out with the coverage stuff, as well as to all you guys, the subscribers. We just broke 1,000 subscribers this week. That's a huge accomplishment. Wasn't expecting it, and you guys have continued to show up and shout out all of the different comments and all the different videos. I read every single one. I really appreciate it. Just letting you know, one thing I am working on is trying to find ways for us to interact more as a community. I'm trying to get things set up with Lackey CCG so that I can maybe host some live events with me playing against members of the community. So stay tuned for that as we move forward, and keep watching to see all the new different kind of upgrades that the channel's going to be getting in future content. So with that out of the way, let's just go ahead and get what you're really here for. Thanks for listening. But here's the deck profile for the Oddgro Grimm aggro that Josh and myself ran to get into top 8 and top 4 at Gauntlet's Caturday.
Hey there guys, it's DMO73 bringing you the deck profile for my Oddgro Grimm deck that we took top 8 with. Me and Josh. Josh broke into top 4 and I was able to break into top 8. So just want to go ahead and jump right in. So we've talked about this deck before on the channel. We've talked about Oddgro Grimm before on the channel. So I'm not really going to go into the strategy or like the core mechanic of the deck in terms of just playing pretty much nothing but odd cards. We're just going to go into the version that I played today and kind of explain some of the different choices that we made. So obviously our ruler is Grimm. We need to make that happen. And then stone lineup is 5 Magic Stones of Flame, 2 Magic Stones of Water, and then 2 Magic Stones of Hearth core. Typically people have been playing 4. We decided to go down to 2. We didn't really think we needed more than 2. And then a little of the Pure Stone. We use this because this can be used to call actually a random color to match something, to be able to like trade, like in the mirror match. So you can call green to make your Oz's bigger, you can call red to make your Blazers bigger than their Blazers. So it's really good. You can use white to help Tinkerbells get around Abdul, to be able to survive against Abdul for a turn, like all kinds of stuff that you can do with this that we thought would be really good going into the event and really paid off throughout the event. It's a really good tech choice, I think. Going into the monster lineup, you would run a lot of 1-drops. So we run 400 Black Forest for that swiftness. For Tinkerbell, because she can become a huge threat when you're playing a whole deck full of fairy tales, which we are. March Hare for that, again, very early game aggression for a small cost creature. And then to make sure that March Hare always goes off, you run 4 Cheshire Cats to make sure that you always are able to set an odd card on top of the deck, because you don't want to have March Hare backfire. We run 1 Glinda just for that searchable unblockable. It makes something unblockable really quickly and finish the game, as well as to be able to serve as spell cancels in certain elements. So that can be really helpful, especially in the mirror. Glinda is very helpful in the mirror. For Oz the Great Wizard, this deck likes to tutor a lot, and Oz is the way to get to access to all of your 1-drop spells. Very good card. Plus, you can hit him consistently on turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, to still have that mana to be able to play the spell that you searched with him. So, very good. We run 2 Etna the Snow Queen. A lot of people running 3. We just thought that 3 was kind of unnecessary. We kind of wanted to cut some room for a different tech idea that we had. Very, very good card in the deck that you can just pay 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or how much and lock down the board state. That's the really good effect, but if you do manage to get an attack in with her, your opponent has to discard a card. Again, that's really, really potent, can really change games. And also just having your opponent say, I have a huge board, and you go, okay, cool, well now that's all gone, and locks to a creature that's outside of thunder, a single thunder range is really, really powerful. And then Thrill Heavy Hitter is Blazer. We run 4 of him. He is a 5-drop, so we can run him with the Odd engine, and the fact that he just keeps coming back and has that swiftness for an 11/11 is really, really powerful, and really closes in games very quickly. For the spell lineup, we primarily run 1-drops, so we run 3 Dreams of Wonderland. We thought that 4 was kind of unnecessary, and as I said, we tried to make some room for, we tried to cut multiples of a couple of cards to make room for a certain tech choice we did, which I'll go over in a second. For the same reason, we only run 3 Thunders, just felt like we didn't really quite need the 4. There was only one instance the entire day where I wish I had that 4th Thunder, but I still ended up winning that game, so it didn't really matter in the end. And then 2 Rapid Decay, because we expected a lot of Oddgro, we expected a lot of, kind of aggressive decks, so Rapid Decay really works well against that. Crime and Punishment and Duel of Truth, to be able to make use of Blazer or kill a big threat by using like a Cheshire Cat or something that we weren't going to be able to handle any other way for our 1-drops. And then we actually mainboarded 3 Split Heaven and Earth. Only running 3 Special Stones means that Split Heaven and Earth is never going to be able to do more than 1,000 damage to us, which is really, really good. And we expected a lot of people to expect to see this sided, so we thought playing it in the main would close out games unexpectedly, and it definitely did. I know my personally, I won at least 5 or 6 games, game ones. Oh, I would say 3 to 4 of my game 1 wins were because Split Heaven and Earth came out and either won the game or closed the or extended the gap to a point where my opponent just couldn't keep up. So it worked really, really well in the main. Again, that was a meta call. I don't know if that would play well in every single Ascent, but it really worked out for us. Now, I said before, I'm going to go into the side deck and explain some of those choices. We put in the 4th Dreams of Wonderland just in case we needed it. We thought it would be more important than Thunder, especially against like a duel and stuff like that. So we kept the 4th one in the side, a 2nd Duel of Truth, a 3rd Rapid Decay, and then 2 more Crimes and Punishment. So this was like our being able to change the 1-drop spell lineup to suit what we were playing against. If we were going against like Oddgro, we would probably put into these 3. If we were playing against something that has like Scheherazade or something like that, we'd probably do Duel of Truth to be able to make use of Blazer, like all kinds of different things that we could make use of. So we just wanted to have that kind of array, a variety of 1-drop spells to be able to make that change if we needed it. The 4th Split Heaven and Earth, just because against a deck that ran nothing but Special Stones, why not play Split Heaven and close games. Double Grimm, I never saw this, used it all day, but it would be something that we could use against Abdul or demon decks or vampire decks to be able to just spot remove as necessary. Then again, I never saw it in any of my matchups, but we decided to throw that in there. 2 Little Dread, this is phenomenal in the mirror match. It can kill for a 4-drop spell, 4-drop cost. It can kill an Oz, and it has that target attack, so you can start really swifting stuff. You can steal creatures, you can give it swiftness for 5 to close out games. Very, very good in the mirror. We took it out of the main because of the fact that, again, we wanted to make room for the Split Heavens and Earths. At the same time, we also thought that it's not a fairy tale, so we wanted to keep our game 1 as consistent as possible, and you can't search for it. So 2 more Glinda just for the mirror. For spell heavy matchups, you kind of, in a sense, if you're going against a spell heavy kind of counter control matchup, you would almost take out the Oddgro element and just go into not really necessarily work. So you take out the March Hares and the Dreams of Wonderland, and you side into your your 2-drops to be able to make those plays and control the game state in that way. We also ran a 3rd Etna and my Eye the Pilot for that 3-drop slot. Sometimes just being able to tap something down to swing in with your other creatures was really important, and if you didn't have access to a Glinda, or you don't want to waste searching for a Glinda at that point in time or anything like that, you could just play Eye the Pilot and tap something down and swing in. I never actually ended up using him. I sided into him against Josh, but it just never ended up playing out. I still think this was a really, really good choice. I just never ended up needing it. All the other matchups were just really, really solid. And then, just in case we paired up against a Little Red, like Follow the Yellow Brick Road matchup, an Emperor New Clothes, just to be able to search something and say, let me turn off your engine for your deck. Never ended up playing a Little Red, but really, really solid standby card in the side. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is it. Just so you know, my record in the event was 4 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. My 2 ties were the mirror, and then in top 8 I got paired up against Josh for the mirror, and you saw how that match went. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the deck, what you think you would change in the side for your meta, as well as what you thought about the idea of us putting Split Heavens and Earths in the mains. I know a lot of people were really confused when we were telling them that we were doing that, but I thought it worked out really well. So yeah, that's what we ran. As always, guys, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is TMO73 signing off.